Hello guys and girls, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another episode of Patsy Rates Cars. Now if you're unfamiliar with this segment or you're new to my channel, if you are new to my channel, hello, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining us. If you like what you see, please do subscribe. Yes, so this series on my channel is all about getting my wife to race cars. Now she can't drive due to an eye condition, so therefore it is from a passenger's perspective, but she loves cars as much as I do, so it's always interesting to hear her thoughts. So Patsy, come on in, say hello to everybody.
Hello everybody.
There we are. This week we are joined by the brand new Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross. So before I hand over to Patsy, as always, I need to do my little disclaimer. So, we may share the same surname, but Patsy's thoughts do not necessarily mirror mine or indeed Car Obsession. So basically what I'm saying is, Mitsubishi, if you're watching, if she's nasty about it, don't blame me. Anyway, let's get cracking. So as always, let's start off with the exterior styling. And I'm pretty sure I know how this is going to play out. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Can I just get straight in so I don't have to look at it?
Wow, that is harsh, cold.
No. I tell you what it looks like.
Here we go.
Here comes one of my analogies, I think it's called.
I can feel a burn coming on. Come on.
If you lined up.
Here we go.
This thing.
Right.
Compared to, say, its competitors. So let's say we lined up this. We lined up the equivalent, say, Ateca, the Peugeot 3008,
yeah.
The Audi Q3, what have I missed? The Qashqai.
Yeah, Q3 is really not really in the same kind of league, but okay. Please,
if you lined them all up, okay, take the Q3 out.
Okay.
If you lined them all up and it was a dating show, you would just not go on the date if you ended up with this.
Oh.
If it was a car dating show, and you were the unlucky sod who picked the short straw and everyone else picked the other cars before this, if you were left with this, do you know what, I'd rather go to the restaurant and the cinema or the date that's lined up by myself.
Ouch.
No.
So you don't like it then?
Don't know what gave you that impression, but no, I'm sorry Mitsubishi, but no.
Right, okay, it must have some kind of redeeming features, you know, let's try and be fair here. Do you at least like the alloys, the 18-inch alloys? That's a no then?
They're all right.
Woo, we're getting somewhere. Okay, good.
I'm sorry to go back to the negatives, but whoever designed this car...
Yep.
I don't know what course they've done, even if they've done their GCSEs or art or something, they can't have, because it just looks like it looks like this is from South London and it's been in a fight and someone's got a machete and just gone down the side of it.
Wow. At this point...
Can I just say there's a but? I did not say I didn't like it.
What, it sounds like you don't like it.
I'm just saying...
Hashtag contradiction.
In certain angles...
Hashtag backtrack.
In certain angles, it weirdly complements the car. But if it was my choice, I wouldn't have it on there.
Right.
But certain angles, like where I am now, it weirdly complements it.
Right, so to finish this, to finish your kicking off this car...
But there's something I like at the back. There is something I like.
Is there? See, I thought you would absolutely slate the rear, because I must admit, I'm not a massive fan of it.
The one thing, and this is going to sound really odd, I absolutely love the way... I don't like the shape of the lights, but I do like the way that it goes all the way around the back. Yeah,
but it does mean that rear visibility is hindered. But
and I don't know what the heck this... No. But this, yes, I like the structure of the lights. I do like that.
Right, I think it's about time we step inside. So if you go passenger side, I shall meet you in the middle.
This is already a much better place to be than the outside. So I'm going to sit in and forget that the outside is ugly. Right.
Okay, so what are your thoughts on the interior?
Well, first thing, it's better than the outside.
Okay. We're making progress.
Secondly, I'm trying to think of another compliment. It's a nice place to be, but I think there's too many things in here that don't look as good as what they visually look on first impression. So, for example, if you can see, so
Yeah, I can see.
you would look at this and think, oh, this is soft touch, which it is.
It is soft touch, yeah.
But it's I can't even describe it.
It feels rough.
It's rough. It doesn't look finished well. It feels like it's not had the final part of the production done to it. No.
It feels a little bit sandpapery, doesn't it?
It does.
However, what I will say, in fairness to Mitsubishi, at least it feels durable.
Oh, yeah.
It feels
rugged.
rugged.
It doesn't feel too soft and flimsy. Like, you can still press it.
I personally, I want to kind of err on the side of caution and basically say I think that's intentional, so it's durable. But
Okay.
I may be wrong. But yeah, I get what you mean. It's soft touch, but it doesn't feel premium.
Yeah.
Also.
Sorry.
Also, the leather. I can't get my words out. The leather on the steering wheel, that also feels quite rough and
I was going to come to that side of the car.
A bit
in a minute.
nasty, if I'm honest.
Okay, so the kind of the plastics of it, I must admit, apart from this tacky, vile, fake carbon fibre, which is round here.
Yeah, it's also on the doors as well.
No. Apart from that, there are quite a few things I do like about the inside of the car. So little touches like on the, if you show them on the leather part there, I quite like how the colour stitching nearly matches the outside, but
yeah.
I quite like that. It's quite comfortable. It's at the right height. Everyone will know I moan about armrests. I don't like to have to be like this in the car.
Yeah.
So this is quite comfortable for me, and there's enough space in this middle console bit to just have my arms here and just relax. I like them. I also like, now, although it's very plasticky, I do quite like the surrounding they've put around this centre console.
Yeah, so do I actually. It helps to kind of liven up the inside a little bit. Without it, it'd be really, really plain.
And then the other kind of two things, briefly, is the glove box. The size of the glove box is actually...
It's pretty decent, isn't it?
It is. So, for example, obviously you've got the massive manual, but you've got a section down here if you even wanted to put another book or, a bag of sweets or so on. Up here, like it's quite, I'd say, well, my fingers are touching the back, but a whole hand length, so you can put some books in there. If anyone uses maps, you could put that in there.
Like a to Z.
Exactly. Do people still use A to Z?
Well, you'd kind of have to in this car because this car doesn't come with sat-nav. But you've got smartphone connectivity.
Does it have wireless phone charging for it draining your battery?
No, but you can connect it via USB, which is what I do. Hence, why you put the cable there.
And then finally, just the other two things I do quite like is, you can't see it here, but I'm sure we'll see it when we're on the move, is heads-up display.
Yeah.
Oh, I do love a heads-up display. So they're winning back quite a few points for their heads-up display.
Yeah, I don't think it actually comes up until you start the engine. Let me quickly do it, because once we do get going, they won't. Viewers won't be able to see it because their camera will be on us.
Whee!
There we are. Rise, head-up display. Rise.
They have gained back a fair few points for that. And the other two things they're going
just for that alone. Oh, impressive.
And the other two, well, not points in my final kind of out of 5, but the other two things I like, the seats.
Seats are nice.
Very comfortable. Just the right firmness.
Yeah.
And it's not the leather that you feel like your ass is gonna slide off the seat and you're gonna end up like a circus contortionists in the footwell.
Yeah.
And again, I love how there's 2 sunroofs.
Yeah, two panoramic roofs. Yeah.
I just think that adds a lot more kind of character to the car and a lot more...
Gives it a nice airy feel, doesn't it?
It does, kind of airy, kind of vibrant feel, and it puts some more light into the cabin.
Yeah,
so
it's nice.
In here is definitely more of a thumbs up for me than a thumbs down. Good.
Well, on that note, let's get driving.
While we're on a good note, we might as well carry on with it.
So believe it or not, there's only one engine available for this car right now. It's a 1.5 litre turbocharged petrol engine.
What if you don't want that?
Then you don't buy this car. In fairness, there will be a 2.2 litre diesel coming, but that's yet to arrive. So for the time being, if you want a Mitsubishi Eclipse Cross, you've got no choice but to have this engine.
That makes your full review easier.
Yes, it does. However, you can choose to have either a 6-speed manual gearbox or a CVT automatic, and you can have front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. In case you're wondering, I've got a 6-speed manual gearbox and I've got front-wheel drive, which is absolutely fine. Most buyers for SUVs will opt for 2-wheel drive anyway, although I actually believe Mitsubishi predicts that more buyers will get an all-wheel drive version of this car as opposed to 2-wheel drive. But I suppose that makes sense, because if you buy a Mitsubishi, more often than not, if you're buying a Mitsubishi SUV, it's because you want that rugged off-road capability. Whereas if you're buying a car like a Qashqai, there's a good chance you don't really care about 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. This engine offers 163 horsepower with 250 newton meters of torque. Yeah, I think you'll agree, it's got a good amount of performance. Let me drop it down into fourth and put my foot down. That's not what you'd call fast, but it does make decent progress.
It's not slow or sluggish.
No, it's not.
It's responsive, I think, is the word.
Now, obviously, as a passenger, you are very concerned about comfort. So, how are you doing?
I'm comfortable. But I do think that's more down to the seats. When I say comfortable, I am comfortable in my seat. It's not too firm. It's cushioned enough.
It's nice.
It obviously is not too, should we say, hugging. But there is enough for you to kind of feel a bit more comfort and support around, say, your ribs, your waist area.
Yeah, it's got a healthy amount of bolstering.
The seats are comfortable. If we're talking about the overall ride of the car, as in comfort in the general position of being a passenger, it's very wiggly, it's very jiggly. I feel like, as I've said before, I feel like a jelly on a plate.
Yeah.
Like I'm sitting on the plate, but I'm constantly moving.
Yeah, this car hasn't got a particularly good low-speed ride. So if you're driving this car around town, particularly on broken roads...
Oh, excuse me.
I'm not keeping you up. Particularly on broken roads, you will find that it is quite jiggly and firm. It does sort itself out once you get to a high speed. What's this cyclist doing?
Letting you past.
I thought she might have indicated. Anyway, yeah, once you get it up to speed, for example, if you're doing 40 on a main road, it is definitely noticeably better.
I like the fact it's got the panoramic roof, panoramic
roof.
Pano roofs, I'm going to call it.
Just tell you what, I'm a bit warm. I'm actually going to open it.
Be careful, your GoPro's on there.
Oh, look at that! Just feel that lovely autumn weather.
If a bird on my head, I'm not going to be impressed.
It'd have to have some skill. But yeah, it's lovely to let the lovely British autumnal weather in. Let it cascade into the car.
Have you swallowed a thesaurus?
I may have done. Who knows?
Oh.
Yeah, it's when you're driving along, this car is quite a nice place to be. The interior is far from the best in its class, but I would say it's a pleasant drive.
It's a pleasant. Overall, I wouldn't mind being a passenger in this car for like a reasonably long journey.
Okay, that's good, because you know, I'll be honest, I thought you were going to absolutely slate this car.
Well, I did on the outside, but like I've said, on the inside. Do you know what would... Right, so the looks of this car would put me off buying it.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Let's just say that this was the only kind of car of its kind, and this was, so there wasn't like its competitors out there. If I had to have this car, I purposely would not buy it based on its outside looks.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, in the SUV class, design, looks, fashion, style, it does count for so much.
It's like you're going to totally disagree with me on this, and you'll probably know what kind of small SUV I'm going to mention, and you don't like them.
Oh no!
No, wait.
Oh no!
Wait.
Go on.
Bear with me.
If you say Nissan Juke, you can get out.
The Duke Nismo. I didn't say Nissan Juke.
Right, get out.
I didn't say Nissan Juke. Right. Now, the reason why I'm mentioning that car is it's different. It looks different. It's characterful. It's got...
It's not characterful, it's ugly.
Excuse me. This is a PRC video. I'm having my say. So button it. I am not saying it is the best looking one.
Good.
But it has its own USPs. It's unique. It looks different to every other SUV. It's got character. It looks fun. It looks cheeky. It looks like it would have a good play about with you if it was a kid. Like, it looks like it's full of fun. Now, you don't like it, but what I'm trying to get at...
Anyone likes it.
Well, I do.
You compare it to a kid you play with. If the Nissan Juke, it'd be a kid. It'd be that special kid that isn't allowed to play with matches.
What I'm trying to get at is, in the SUV market, it's got to look different. It's got to catch your eye. It's got to have character. It can't just look like your bog standard SUV that every other manufacturer has. And the Duke does it. I'm not saying I would go and buy a normal Nissan Duke. I'd have to have a Nismo.
Anyway, let's get your rating. Out of 5 stars, as always, what do you give it? And guys, I literally have no idea I can't even guess what Patsy's going to give it, because I've got quite strong feelings about this car, so yeah, I couldn't even anticipate.
Oh, I don't want to be too harsh, but I can't justify what I want to give it.
Come on, spill the beans.
2.75.
What sort of mark is 2.75?
Because it's not worthy of a 3, but it's not as bad as a 2.5.
Why do you have to be so extra with your marks? Just give it a normal mark, like a normal person.
Fine, 2.5.
So you're basically saying it'd be, if you were to mark it out of 10, it'd be 5. You'd give this car 5.
But we're not marking it out of 10, because if you were marking it out of 10, I would give it higher than a 5.
What would you give it then?
7.
So that's a 3.5 then.
But I don't want to give it a 3.5.
Darling, your logic baffles me sometimes.
It's literally the only thing that lets this car down is the external styling. Which kind of makes me think I should have given it more than a 2.5.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Can I change my score?
Oh, for God's sake.
3. I'll give it a 3. Because I'll give it a 3. I'll give it a 3.
Oh, a little bit of off-roading there.
3.
So you've marked it down 2 stars based on looks. Is that what you're telling me?
No, I've marked it down on the outside design and styling.
Yep.
The lack of engines, like the lack of choice.
Yep. Fair point.
It's going to be picky, but the fact that as a passenger I cannot adjust my seat.
You can adjust it, just not how you want to adjust it.
And that's about it.
Okay. So what's your final score?
3.
Got there eventually. Right, thank you so much for watching this video.
You got a headache.
I'm going to go home and have a lie down after that. Jesus.
We don't normally argue. That was our first domestic this year. Sorry, I'll let you finish.
Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, give it a massive thumbs up. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click that bell icon
To see more domestics.
so you get notified every time I, or indeed Patsy and I, make a video. And if you aren't subscribed, guys, what are you waiting for? Be sure to subscribe for more car obsession.
I love you, really.
God, you're a
Am I sacked?
F off.